The OnePlus 12 has the possibility of being the best phone of the year for many. It has all the right features at a great price and is definitely punching above its weight class. So what is great about the OnePlus 12 and what are the compromises to getting this phone over the competition? First, let's put things into perspective to get an idea of what this phone is actually competing against. Based on the screen size, the OnePlus 12 is competing against the Pixel 8 Pro and the Galaxy S24 Plus. The Pixel 8 Pro and the Galaxy S24 Plus are starting at $999, while the OnePlus 12 is starting at $799. The first thing that you notice when you pick up the phone and unwrap it is the bold design that OnePlus is going with. It just visually catches your attention, starting with the color choice with the pattern, and also the feel of the material when you slide your finger is different than the other ones. The other aspect that really stands out is the camera bump, the large circular camera bump coming from the edge. It's not everyone's favorite, but it is different, and I actually do like the way it looks. The circular camera reminds me of a true camera lens, and the design goes further into the glass where the pattern continues in there, and you also get some metallic flakes in there that reflect the light and catch your attention. I would also like to point out that the OnePlus 12 comes with a curved glass, which is a dying trait really nowadays. Even the Galaxy S24 Ultra went with a flat glass. There are pros and cons to both, and really I'm okay with either one, but I feel like the curved glass does give it a little bit more of a premium feel and a nicer look as well. And also when you're watching videos on it, it's a little bit more immersive than a flat screen because it kind of rolls over the edges and gets that much closer to the edge and makes it feel like you're just holding the screen. One thing that the OnePlus 12 screen would have benefited from is a screen protector with the anti-glare coating on it. It's something I had to use on the OnePlus Open. It worked really well and definitely reduced the amount of crease that you see, but also would have helped with a curved glass because curved glass picks up more glare than flat glass. And continuing with the screen, it has the highest brightness rating that I've seen, advertised at least. It's advertised at 4500 max nit rating, which is almost double of the nearest competition, at least here in the US. A lot of these independent testers show that it doesn't really reach that. I don't know, maybe they're not testing it in the right scenarios, but either way, it's going to have a bright screen. It's going to provide great picture. The color on it is great. I really do enjoy watching videos on it, and just overall, just using the phone is awesome. They also added additional support for using the screen while it's wet, which is great here in South Florida where it rains quite often. I haven't used this in the rain yet, but whenever that time does come, I'll definitely report on it. Besides that, the screen is very large at 6.8 inches, and it also runs at Quad HD, which is gonna provide a very clear picture. Moving to the performance of the cameras, with the OnePlus Open, OnePlus really enhanced the cameras, upgraded the cameras. With the OnePlus 12, they have pretty much the same setup, and it's performing really well as expected. The telephoto lens really outshines most of the competition. For example, with the Pixel 8 Pro, in photos, the Pixel 8 Pro is going to have more clear pictures at longer ranges. But then when it comes to taking videos, the OnePlus 12 is going to perform better because videos are not as forgiving as photos. So when you're zooming in, the 1 to 3x lens is going to provide a smoother, consistent video compared to the Pixel 8 Pro, which jumps from 1 to 5. So you have a fairly pixelated video as you get closer to 5 on the Pixel 8 Pro. And then if you compare it to the S24 Plus, the 3x telephoto lens on the OnePlus 12 is much better than the one on the Samsung S24 Plus. So it's going to outperform it in both pictures and video. As far as the main sensor and the ultra-wide sensor, this phone pretty much is on par with the other two phones. The main difference is going to be the color optimization. OnePlus tends to go a bit warmer, which provides a nicer look in certain scenarios, but it's not for everyone. So if you don't like the color optimization of OnePlus, that might be a deal breaker for you. But in terms of the quality of the photo, it's going to be great. And now obviously we got to cover the chipset. So it has the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, which is a powerhouse that is actually very efficient under normal use. So my main experience with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 has been with the Samsungs, the S24 Ultra and the S24 regular model. And they're behaving great. They're sipping that battery and lasting super long. So I was already expecting good battery life and great performance from the OnePlus 12. Now, when I actually started using the OnePlus 12, I was kind of in shock of how well it did. The battery looks to be lasting longer than the S24 Ultra. Of course, it also has a bigger battery to go with it, so I do expect it to last longer, and I will run a full day challenge on it, so it will make it to my leaderboard. If it does not make it to the top spot, I'll be very surprised. So continue with the battery. OnePlus is using the biggest battery I've seen on a phone to date, at least one that I've owned. I know there are crazy ones there with like 28,000 or 10,000 milliamp hour batteries, but I mean, that's not normal, and I actually never even see one in person. So it's coming with a 5400 milliamp hour battery, which is 400 more than the usual on large phones of 5000 milliamp hours. So for comparison, the Pixel 8 Pro has 5050, the S24 Ultra has 5000, and the S24 Plus has 4900. So that's almost 10% more than the standard phones of this size. So you can pretty much just guarantee that it's going to be that much better in the battery life than the other phones. And in the off chance that you're running low on battery, the phone also has some crazy charging. 80 watts in the US, but in other places and other countries is gonna be maxing out at 100 watts wired charging. I guess with enough complaining, OnePlus decided to put wireless charging back in their phones. And they didn't just put the usual, between 5 and 25 watt wireless charging. They went with 50 watts of wireless charging. The wireless charging on this phone is faster than the wired charging on the S24 Ultra and the S24 Plus. That's already an insane stat right there. Of course, not too many wireless chargers can charge that fast, so it's another way for them to sell their own charger. I did buy that charger, and I am going to test it out. We'll see how it performs. I'm excited about it. I wonder how hot the phone will get at 50 watts of wireless charging. We'll see how well it's going to perform. I'm actually pretty excited about it though. Wireless charging is king, and 50 watts is amazing. I will be ecstatic. So next I want to talk about price. So the OnePlus 12 is starting at $799, which in terms of price is comparable to the regular S24. The Pixel 8 Pro and S24 Plus, which are the ones I'm using as a comparison because they most closely resemble this phone, they start at $999. But it's not just the price that's different. At $799, the OnePlus 12 comes with 12 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of storage. At $999, the Pixel 8 Pro came with 128 gigabytes of storage and 12 gigabytes of RAM. And the S24 Plus came with 12 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of storage. So it's pretty comparable in that sense, but at $200 cheaper. Now, as the memory gets upgraded, things kind of separate a bit more. So when you upgrade the Samsung S24, I think the maximum is $1,120, so $1,120 to get the 512 gigabyte storage. And with that, you stay with 12 gigs of RAM. With the Pixel 8 Pro, I couldn't get the actual numbers because it only showed me the discounted numbers because they have a discount right now. But it's gonna be around the same price. It's not gonna be any less than $1,120 that the Samsung S24 has. With the OnePlus 12 for $100, there's only two versions. So with $100, it takes you up to the next version for $899, and that one has 512 gigabytes of storage and also bumps up the RAM to 16 gigabytes. So really the true comparison is probably closer to the 16 gigabyte model to the other phones, just because that's the closer one in price. And it's a massive gap when you get to that point when you're paying $100 less and you're getting all this pretty much raw power. So I know it kind of feels like I've been putting this phone on a pedestal, and when it comes to the price, I mean, it kind of deserves it. But now I kind of want to cover some of the compromises. And the first one I'm going to mention is the AI features. OnePlus didn't release any additional AI features with the OnePlus 12, with the release of the OnePlus 12. And, at this point in time when I'm recording this video, they still don't have any new features. I did read that they are going to release some, and it's going to be summarizing web pages or notes, summarizing calls, and generative AI content is how they put it. I'm guessing it's going to be similar to the generative AI editing that we saw on the S24 Ultra, I imagine. Of course, the compromises don't just end there. You're also going to compromise on the software support and the security patches. So Samsung and Google have both come out with 7 years of software and security patches, and OnePlus is sticking with 4 years of OS and 5 years of security patches. In no way is that a bad deal because the 4 and 5 year support has been the upper standard on Android for some time now, and the 7 year just started now. So it could be a compromise if you're someone that would actually keep the phone for 7 years. But if you're someone that only keeps a phone for 5 years or less, then you're not compromising anything at all, really. Maybe it would be a little bit harder to sell on the secondary market if you do sell it after that point because of the reduced support. But as a user, I don't think it's going to affect too many people. And on a related note, I do notice that Google and Samsung deliver their updates in a more timely manner than OnePlus does. So, I mean, with the OnePlus Open, I'm still waiting for Android 14, and it's been out for quite a bit already. It's not going to be a deal breaker. I don't even notice most of the time, but there are a few features that Android 14 does have that I would like to use on the OnePlus Open. So, I guess just some more patience when it comes to that. Another compromise to getting the OnePlus is going to be the trade-in value. Obviously, since you're starting at a lower price point, I'm expecting to get less for it. For example, the OnePlus Open was $1,500. I bought it for $1,500. And the trade-in value for the OnePlus Open to get the OnePlus 12 was $600. I'm sure it's probably because they didn't want to give out the phone for free. But either way, that's showing me that the OnePlus Open lost more than half its value in less than a year. Overall, the features that someone will be giving up by switching to OnePlus are minimal. And honestly, the current level of the AI features that are available on phones, it doesn't seem like it's missing out on much. It's not much of a compromise. Maybe with future updates, it might seem like you're compromising more with a OnePlus, but as of now, OnePlus is providing a great flagship without breaking the bank. Kudos to OnePlus for this achievement. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more content. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.